Newsflash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hello there. Good morning if you just joined us here on the show. This is Prime Morning. It's time for Newsflash, proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise Phone. Papa Fee. It's the leading phone and accessories electronic retail shop in the country. As at this moment, you can get yourself a Nokia, Samsung, iPhones, smart TVs. Once you come to any of our branches here in the country, we have got smart TVs that range from 32 to 55 inches, and you need one of those. Now, tabletop fridges that you need in your homes, it's Franco Trading Enterprise that will give you the very best of quality that you need. Franco Air Condition is also available as well. We've got 1.5 horsepower, 2.0 horsepower, and 2.5 horsepower. Very affordable that you can purchase from us. Don't forget that there's the need for you to monitor what happens in your office and in your homes in your absence. And the CCTV cameras that we've got will do exactly that and even more for you. All you need to do is to just purchase one and put the installation together, and you can monitor anywhere you are at any time, and that's what you need. Now, don't forget that you can always reach us on 0246 422 or 0555939311 and speak to us. Please do not pick any number on Google to do any business with those people now. They are scammers, all right? So call the numbers that I've given you, or you can also go on the Google Play, Apple, and then just download the app over there, and you can do business from there. You've got everything on your phone once you download the app, and you can visit our website, www.francotrading.com. Franco Trading Enterprise says phone papa fee, and it's the best of quality you can ever get on the market. So do well and visit any of our branches. This segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. We're going to get into the front pages of the newspapers. I introduced my guest in the studio this morning, and now we'll move into our very major issues here on News Flash. Now, Daily Graphic is here, and it says KPMG audit find tax revenue increase, SML cleared to continue work, and traders laud free SHS policy for bridging the education inequality gap, and that's captured in page 16. You can read about it. My choice is belief in Ghanaian women. Professor Opoku-Agyemang speaks. Page 13 has got a story on that. You can read about it. And yesterday, there was the official outdoor of the good professor, and we'll be looking at that conversation this morning. At the back page of Daily Graphic, it says more children not receiving full vaccination against killer diseases, and ECOWAS commissions mechanized water facility for Diari community. That's the Daily Graphic for today. Now we get into the Daily Guide this morning. It says that no salaries for first and second ladies, says Supreme Court. And away from that, Latif Abubakar, Italian embassy partner for the license. And also President orders SML contract rate negotiation. Away from that, Baumia meets Pope Francis in historic Vatican visit. And also Nana pledges loyalty to Mahama. That's captured on the front page of the Daily Guide today. Let's get into some other stories. At the back page, it says Partey is a big player for us, and that's on sports. The Liverpool open talks for club replacement, and 2 players arrested over alleged rape, and Tevez in hospital for chest pains. That's the back page of the Daily Guide on some sports over there. And a quick one in the middle page, Kim promises alleged marriage music video shoot, and Nollywood mourns Zulu Adigwe. And the Ghanaian Times is here on the front page. It says, outcome of Ghanaian Times expose, dismissed pregnant student back to school following GES directive, and the resident persons risk prosecution for failure to disclose incomes. GRA says so. President inaugurates second phase of 15 megawatt power, Kalio solar power plant project. Page 16 has got a story on that. And Mahama touts credentials of Professor Opoku-Agyemang. At the back page, it says portions of Kojo Chrome Road to be redesigned. That's also captured by the Ghanaian Times. Now, The last one over here is the new finder. It says EcoBank post 985 million Ghana cedis profit before tax in 2023. SML minimized under declarations but needs review, says the president. We will prosecute corrupt officials, Professor Opoku-Agyemang says so. Dr. Pope Francis, who talks in the Vatican to strengthen diplomatic ties, and that's also captured by the new finder for today. Those are stories making the front pages of the various newspapers this morning. We're going to move into our very major issues that we're talking about today. Don't forget that we're looking at the official outdoor of Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang. Yesterday, UPSA, the former president, John Dramani Mahama, who's looking forward to coming into office in 2024 after the elections, has officially outdoored her vice president for that race. And she spoke at length on many issues that borders on economy, women, children, EC, elections, governance, and we're going to be looking at that here on the show. And then we also will look at some transport fares that are supposed to be going up, and with specifically the U-turn buses. We'll look at that. Kumasi International Airport will be open to traffic in June, says the transport minister. These are the issues we're looking at, so you can just send your messages ahead of time. Let us know what you think about it. But we're asking you, how did you find the speech by the vice president for the incoming vice president, if you want to call it that, or the running mate for the NDC yesterday? So yeah, when you say some of these things, you have to be very careful before you'll get yourself into trouble. But my guest in the studio this morning, as always, I've got over here Lawyer Kwame Jantua ESQ, joining us, senior member of CPP and chairman oil and gas sector AGI. He's a family to this family. Always, every Thursday, you find him here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your honor or counsel?
I'm Kwame Jantua, that's all.
No, counsel. I hope you're good.
I'm good. Might take this opportunity to wish my mother a happy birthday.
Your mom?
Yes. My mom is 94 today.
That's a blessing.
Yes, it's a blessing. She's strong. She doesn't use a walking stick. She pounds her own fufu.
Ah?
Yes. 94. So I wish her a happy birthday.
We'll get there.
You'll get there. My father was 102 when he died.
Oh.
My mother is 94 today, so I wish her a very happy birthday.
Well, that's good.
And thank her for life, for giving me life.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been there. Yeah, she's been there for us.
That's a lot of age.
Yes.
A lot of fun. Oh, I see. Okay. Mr. George Kwadjo Ayisi is also joining us, Director of Communications, NATMO, and he represents the NPP. He's also a family to this family as well. Every Thursday he's here with us. Sir, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, KMJ.
Good to see you. Looks like
It's you.
we did political suit this morning. Eh?
It's always a pleasure to be on your set.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
He's lacing his boots. You know why? Rainy season is coming.
Oh,
Yeah. Yesterday I was in my GA.
I think I heard it yesterday.
No, they'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
But let's hope we don't go through what we went through.
Oh, no.
Akosombo.
We'll be fine. Yeah. Fine. June is just around the corner.
But I understand it's really going to rain this year. So.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Stormy as well.
George, we're prepared enough?
Yeah, we're on standby. We're on standby.
But Pom Kuma says we are not ready for the floods.
No, they are in charge of the drains and construction of more drains and storm drains and co. So if he's talking about that, maybe
Please.
I need to hear him.
No, he said it.
Yeah.
He said we are not even halfway near.
Yeah, with the projected revenue needed to construct some of these drains, he's right. We needed to do a lot of work. The storm drain construction and the silting and dredging of some of the major ones.
Well, these are very serious issues that affect the country. It's something that is non-negotiable.
Yes.
What are we doing? We're putting pressure to ensure some of these things are taken care of.
Yeah. I think recently the Garrid project released some funds to the assemblies within the Greater Accra district, region especially, and they have been used to, carry out maintenance work and desilt and dredge drains within this catchment area. So yes, and the Ministry of Housing has also been going on with the construction of some storm drains, not only in Accra, but across the country.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is very important if we are to succeed in combating the flood issues. You know, the 2015 report recommended the construction of retention ponds along the Bri down to the Odo, you know, so that the volume of water that is spilled into the Odo is reduced because there's retention, okay, from the Adenta, Medina areas coming down, you know, so that the volumes will then reduce upon getting to Odo. And then it will not be causing flooding downstream here. You know, that's a good recommendation. We are yet to put it into.
But you know, it's not a topic for discussion. But what baffles me is that with the absence of not having enough money, we are not educating people. So you find that once the rain starts, people go back to their normal things that they do, throwing rubbish in the drain.
We do,
and especially also
when
they distill some of these places, they leave the sands, you know,
on the side,
just on the side.
And even when
the rains wash it,
and even when we sweep the medians of the road, we leave the sand there. You know, so that education should be ongoing. We have a lot of young people. We have a lot of young people who don't have work to do. Let's try and get them on board and go to houses and just keep.
The other issue is that
budget constraints. Yes, budget constraints.
We have people doing some of these jobs, and the end result is that they've done what they're supposed to do, but are not getting paid.
When are we?
And then we'll bring that conversation up.
When are we going to
go back?
When? We are always constrained.
But that's for the work they will do it.
But we have
you
money.
Find them to do
We
it.
have
people.
Listen. We have money to. We have the chance to go and get 250 million to do African Games. They're saying we can't find money to hire people to help in educating Ghanaians about drainage and how we handle our waste. That's what we're saying.
Unfortunately,
and this 250 million, it's not as if other African countries were contributing to it. We took on that load and we are paying for it. Can't we find the money from somewhere to do the essential things? That's what gets to me. African Games, we could have done what Australia and Malaysia did when they were asked to do the Commonwealth Games. They said, at the present moment, the economy doesn't allow them to do it. Couldn't we do that? It baffles me.
We're still yet to pay some people who...
athletes. Yes.
But with that, those international games and it gives you other opportunities.
Like what?
You know, when you host these things and it exposes you to the international community.
And exposes our inability to make payments as well.
No, you have the capacity. Now we have some of the new, you know, sports that have been created.
You don't have a house.
People can take advantage.
You're living in somebody's backyard.
We can host some games and get revenue, forex out of that.
Please, you don't have a house. You're living in somebody's back house. Then you go and buy a Mercedes. What's wrong with you? What are we trying to say? We should take off the nitty-gritties.
Anyway.
You say people cannot rent and drive a Mercedes?
Okay.
All right, so please do send your messages to us this morning. We'd like to send it to Franco Trading Enterprise. Phone Papa.
The KMJ, sorry, but I think in our parts, we are not prioritizing disaster management. That's the challenge. We are not prioritizing.
Why
That's
not?
what people like you are there.
Why not?
Are we doing enough? That's a question we'll be asking. But I'm sure
I'm very fearful of the day we have an earthquake in this country.
Oh. Let's go there. Please, I beg you.
But we are not educating people. We are in an earthquake zone. I mean, hey. So you make sure that you put things in place before it happens.
Yeah.
No. There's a technical committee in place. When the earth tremors happened, about 4 of them and the president put a technical committee in place. They worked. Their report has been submitted, and he's tasked them to translate it into by 11 local languages.
They're having people.
Okay, as you said, there's a fault line in this country, so you cannot discount the possibility of an earthquake occurring. So, as he said, there should be enough public education for people to know what it is.
What you've got to do, where you've got to be.
Yes.
Where you have to hide if you're caught in your house.
What do you even do when
KG1, primary one, they know all these things.
Yes.
Teach them.
And the last time it happened, I felt it was a big truck that was passing by. The vibration, I thought some big truck. I said, what truck is this? Only to hear. It's an earthquake.
Tremor.
Okay, that's tremor, sorry.
All right, so send your messages to us. But yesterday, there's some statement that the professor made, and we're going to actually take a look at that statement, and then I get my guest to speak on that. So this is something that she said that almost everybody seems to be talking about. It says that at the time of reckoning, I will not, in the advancement of self-serving ambition, declare to the whole world I was only a driver's mate. Now, she spoke about a lot of issues that we'll be looking at for that matter. Now, let me start off with you, George. You had the opportunity to listen to the professor.
No,
you didn't.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you may have heard a few things about what. Is it you were busy or you didn't?
Yeah, I was
you want to
busy. I was very busy yesterday.
Okay.
I was very tight. Yeah.
Okay.
I told you yesterday I was in my GA.
Working there. Great.
Yeah.
What do you make of the speech?
Well, I've had snipers of it, and so I cannot claim to have listened to all. But whatever it is, good morning to you, good morning to your production, good morning to Lawyer and our viewers. Yes, when you are adoring the running mate of a major political party as the NDC, it definitely is going to attract the media, and the whole nation is going to be attentive to listen to what she has to say. And as an academic, you don't expect anything less in the content of what speech she delivered. So I will assume that the content is going to be loaded. And two, what you just said, the time of reckoning, I wouldn't say a driver's mate and co. Dr. Bawumia didn't say he's a driver's mate to distance himself from or dissociate himself from responsibility or culpability of this government. No. But he said, yes, I'm the driver's mate. I want to take charge of the vehicle, and I will have my own vision and plan and program for the nation. What is the crime in that? Okay? Because right now, the buck stops on President Nana Opoku-Agyemang's desk, right? Yes, not whatever it takes. If you take it anywhere and it even passes through Dr. Bawumia, the ultimate decision will be taken by the president, right or wrong. Yes, so in that context, he's saying, I'm championing my vision. We've worked up to this point. This has been part of our achievements. I've been given some responsibilities. This is what I did with it. But going forward, I seek your mandate as the driver to be able to implement my own program, my own vision, and co. And as part of it, if I get the opportunity, okay, A, B, C, D, that we are doing that as a result of the contingent situations that we are in, I wouldn't continue with that, like the e-levy and all that. So those were things that he said. And so if Prof is saying in any given context, she's not going to be saying those things, she has the right to say what she's saying. But I disagree in the context in which my candidate said what he said. Good. Then she also said Day of Reckoning is going to be coming for people who were corrupt.
Yeah.
Right? I think I heard that one as well. Yes, that is good. You know, nobody wants corruption to be perpetuated in any government because we know the consequences of corruption, the possibility of denying the ordinary people privilege of having borehole water, road constructed, marketplace, a toilet, getting an ambulance, and all that. And so, if there's corruption, we need to fight it head on. However, it's interesting that on the heels of one of her own, which the courts have concluded, ruled on and said is dastard thievery, okay, that was perpetrated on the Ghanaian people. I'm talking Sedinam Tamaklo's issue, one of their own stock. it's interesting that she didn't have anything to say about that. If she's determined and resolved to fight corruption, as she wants us to believe, there should have been a comment on that we are not going to spare anybody from within or without. Then you are telling me something, okay? So
that's a judgment undertaken by your government.
Is it?
Because your government is in power,
yes.
not necessarily a witch hunting situation.
No.
But it's something that
yes.
it's happening under this government, right?
Yes.
So if any of that also happens under the
No, we are not. No. Then look, they came in 2009 to 2016 under Prof Mills. The Honorable Leonard Attorney General Betty Molde Idrisu took a docket, 46 dockets, 46 alleged corrupt officials of the Kufuor administration. Not a single one was indicted. Not a single one. Okay? And so please, get your, if you assume this noise we are making, this government, people are corrupt and co. Look, the real issue is evidence. There's a lawyer here. You need to adduce evidence to be able to say that. No, if you have it, fine. When you get the opportunity, go prosecute. I ain't got no problem with that. You get it? Yes, but I said there's a precedent. When President Kufuor came in, we prosecuted and got some number of former ministers or officials convicted. Okay? Salome and all those people.
The same thing to the former president. It was alleged that the former president was involved in a lot of corruptions. And they said that if you think you have the evidence, they can prosecute him, but nothing of the sort happened.
Oh, well, a lot of people have been prosecuted. Former president, why? The Constitution says within 3 years upon taking over, I should prosecute the person. These are international matters. They are dealing with those things internationally. So yes, if there are local matters and the Attorney General deems it fit to prosecute, she would have then, the Attorney General then,
so
was
all
a lady.
those allegations,
She would have, no, it's been there. Why? The Airbus issue, is it not still trending? It's everywhere.
So why didn't the government?
Well, I don't know why the Attorney General decided is not going to prosecute it within this jurisdiction. Because I'm not the Attorney General. Yes, but there are individuals within that government that have been prosecuted and conviction secured. Okay, the NCA scandal, the capital venture scandal. People have been sentenced. One, Eugene Bafuboni and co. They've been convicted and jailed. Okay, capital venture, another thievery that was there. So, and Maslock, if you're listening to how the thing unfolded and co. When disaster victims who are supposed to be compensated, over 70 million pocketed by the lady and her acquaintances, okay? So these are things that I thought the learned Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang, she was my wife's lecturer, so I appreciate, I've lived in Cape Coast before, so she's like a mother to all of us. So yes, I wish her well, but I thought she could have gone into details on how, we are not perturbed about corruption prosecution at all, because the president has tasked every appointee that there's going to be a day of reckoning for all of you, okay? So when you are given a task to perform it very well, because definitely, whether within this government or in another government, you'll be called to account for your service.
And do you think they've done it to the best of their knowledge?
Why not? Yes. No. Yes, I think so. Because, I think so. We have set up the office of the special prosecutor. And that too, if something is going, somebody is misconducting himself and he's prompted, he goes in. You get it? So he will then immediately investigate the Cecilia Dapa matter. You get it? And so these are things that
it came with its own challenges.
Yes.
Remember, he came out to speak about a lot of things.
You get it? So yes, that even once they come at you, it even prompts you to say, hey, something may not be right, so make sure you correct your steps. You remember the Boache Ejeko case, a public hearing and all that. You get it? And so when something comes up, the president is not hesitant in ensuring that there's open public investigation into the matter. Do you get it? The only one that I feel, if the report had been made public, is the Australian issue. I thought up till today, I feel whatever the findings were, if the report had been made public, it would have been good, because my brother Piles is always, people come at him when he knows he's done nothing. You get it? And he's convinced he's done nothing. But if the report were made public, you would have read it and be convinced that, okay, he's actually not culpable.
We have a similar issue happening with the SMLD.
Yes.
The president refuses to put the report out there. And I said,
No, he just got the report. He just got the report. Yes, he just got the report, and so he's giving directives. I think yesterday or 2 days ago. So
why not publish the report?
Yeah, so definitely. So once the directives have been given, if there's need to publish it, why not? He will publish it. Okay. So, but I believe we'll be talking SML as well. So, yes, I think that report should be made public, because Manasseh did say that he did an earlier investigation in around 2013, 2014, there about the JIDA thing. Yeah. And when directives were given, he thought, yes, they were bad enough. But when he saw the final report, the rot was more serious than, you know, is a white paper or whatever issued. You get it? And so he thinks this must also be put out there. And I agree. I agree that the SML report by KPMG be made public.
Very well. Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Jane, I don't know if you have admiration for her and, you know, all that she's achieved over the period. But beyond that, politics sinks in. And so I don't know what your take will be like.
Good morning to our viewers. For me, her presentation welcomes her into the political arena. When you look at the presentation she gave yesterday, you could see she has changed from who she was during the 2020 election to who she is now. She seems to understand what the challenges of the country is. Not even John Mahama, this period, has been able to give such a speech. Because when you look at the kind of areas she touched on, it was wide. Touched on so many areas. And most importantly, she showed confidence in what she was saying. Whether that will inure to votes is another question. But it reminds me of Dr. Baumia and the way he also expressed himself during the 2017 election, which helped Nana to win. So I think it was a good performance. Let me look at some of the things she said and ask the question. She indicated that the elections ahead and winning means you've got to win the elections for a purpose. So this election is supposed to be one, so far as she's concerned, it has to be one for a purpose. And she asked the question, and I asked the question. She says the purpose goes beyond those enumerated above. So, would we say the country needs an opportunity to heal? Would we say that? Would we say that it is about, we need to pull the country back from its precipice? Is that true? We need to ask, is there destruction? Is there corruption? Is there greed? Do the people feel deep despair? Is that true? And if it is true, then she seems to be on the right path. I think from her delivery, she has swayed a lot of people into the line of the NDC. Her presentation was, I must say, it elated people because we've never seen her present herself that way. So the battle is on. I mean, the issues she talked about, state capture, corruption, despair of the youth, the fact that the country seemed to favor a few people and not everybody. When you go into the streets of Ghana and you ask these questions, there are most people who would agree to it. We talked of the Dumso situation, the fact that, we have Dumso, but we can't call it Dumso, all that kind of stuff. So I say wisdom first appeals to the mind. Wisdom. It first appeals to the mind, but folly appeals to senses. So if you use emotion to solve problems, sometimes you don't get the answers. But if you use wisdom, it speaks to the mind, so you sit and you make sure that the things you're going to do and the way you want to correct things, there is wisdom behind it. So let's see. But I think it has moved the NDC a notch further and makes it now a challenging situation for the MPP. They would have probably felt they would use the running mate as a pogo stick because they didn't really see her as someone who understood the issues. But she's proven to us yesterday. And if you look at the attention on people's faces in the hall, you could see most people were attentive. And I sat behind the TV and I watched her, looked at her mannerisms, looked at the way she was talking, and I felt that she's going to pull this election into another realm. Right now, we don't know the running mate for the MPP. We don't know the running mate for Afafranto. So
we do.
We know? You know the running mate for Afafranto?
You don't know.
Is it Abu
Sakara.
Alliance. What is alliance? What does alliance?
Okay, one becomes this, one becomes that.
Prof, you agree? I think
That's what
you're all running scared.
Yes, exactly.
No, it doesn't bother us.
Let's wait. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's wait and see who comes up for that. But then it will be interesting when the various vice presidents have a debate. I think.
Would we ever see that?
Well, if we see it, to be good. But you see, the one thing I will say to the running mate for President Mahama, don't be a tire that you pump, and then the moment you pump it, it deflates. Then you have to go and pump it again.
That's a caution.
If you started the way you started, if you started in the right way, move it forward, go a notch higher. What you wanted to portray to the people of Ghana with this particular presentation, you've been able to portray it. Now, don't go to bed. Push it on further. Take your opponents on in such a way that people look at you again and say, this is a potential. She cannot afford from this point to relax. She should even do it more than even President Mahama does. Because President Mahama really doesn't have a point to prove because he's been a president before. So he understands the mechanics of it. Vice President Baumia has never been a president before. The running mate of the NDC has never been a vice president before. So prove to us that you can be a vice president and don't do it the way others have done it. The former president has assigned certain slots for her. She shouldn't only concentrate on talking about those slots. She should talk about everything the way she has started. But yes, emphasis should be on those slots so people understand what her vision is for those areas she's going to handle. President Akufo-Addo did not give Vice President Baumia the chance to really tell us what the EMT, he was going to do with the EMT. He only said to us, this is the gentleman who is going to recover our economy. That was all. So when the machinations happened within the EMT, with the finance minister and, he being EMT and all that, he had no voice to talk. So she should prove to us that if it so happens that the NDC do come into power, and it so happens that President Mahama, if he comes president, has traveled out of the country, she can be a substantive president in his stead.
Okay.
For me, she has started well. It would be sad if she deflates. She has given herself a responsibility that she cannot start relaxing on it.
Okay.
She's got to move forward strongly from this point on to December 7th.
Very well. This segment is brought to you by the kindest courtesy of Franco Trading Enterprise, Bestow, Phone Papa Pafie, and the very best of quality you can find. We're talking about TV screens that ranges from 32 to 55 inches. We're talking about Samsung, Nokia phones, any type of phone that you want. When it comes to Franco Trading Enterprise, you will get it there. If you don't get it, that phone has not been made yet. Trust me on that one. You can come through any of our branches and find out for yourself. We've got CCTV cameras that we're selling that you can monitor your homes, your offices, anywhere at any time. And it's pretty simple. Give us a call on 0244 5222338 or 0555939311 and speak to us. Let us know what you think about some of the items that you buy from us. We love feedback, and so give us the feedback. Now, don't forget, we're giving you 40% discount of accessories that you purchase from us as well. So if you have any phone accessory you want to buy from us, if you've got some phones that we're also giving some discount on as well. So just come through and make a purchase from us. It's www.francotrading.com, and that's our website. Download the app, and it's the Franco Trading app, and you can do anything you want to do with regards to buying from us and making some inquiries as well. All right, so good. We've been joined by the Professor Sharif Khalid. He's a financial analyst and economist, joining us this morning as well. Good morning, Prof. I hope you're good.
Trying.
Trying under the circumstances. Yeah. Oh, you're trying.
Under the circumstances.
Okay, very well.
Economy, doomsaw, haircuts, everything.
We all seem to be trying.
Everything. Yeah.
Very well. The good professor spoke yesterday.
Yep.
I don't know what you make of it. You're a professor. For me, I said that was a professor talking. I don't know what.
It's if you say that was a professor talking, we'll miss the point. That was experience speaking. Okay. And by experience, I mean her professorial experience plus the political experience that she has gained over the years. For me, she's proven that, or what she's told Ghanaians before the podium was that I've arrived, and it's our time. And it's a time of women, not just women, and it's a time for the NDC. So for me, if you listen through the speech, I was in the hall.
Oh, okay.
And interestingly, I was so caught up in these speeches that went speech by speech that I had to excuse myself for someone to sit for the seat I was occupying. So I stood throughout without realizing that I was standing.
Throughout the speech?
Throughout the speech. Just not throughout the speech, throughout all the speeches.
Oh.
So it tells you how energetic the room was and how much of potency these speeches had, most especially her speech. You'd realize that what most people tend to forget is that she's come from a place of leadership, because being a vice-chancellor of a university, I always akin it to a mini country. You're running 30,000+ students, and she's been a 2-term vice president. She's trailblazed to become the first female vice-chancellor within the Ghanaian higher educational landscape. And up from down the international scale, her relationship and affiliations with UNESCO and the likes of that all gives us an international appeal. So we are bringing someone to a ticket where if the president ever probably travels out, as my good friend puts it, we are confident that we have a president and the country is in a safe pair of hands. And if you realize there's a particular wind blowing across the international spectrum where you have women stepping up to stronger leadership roles, both just not within the political cycle, but the corporate sector as well. So you look at key, the Economist and the Financial Times, key authoritative magazines run by women, the editors or the key editors. You have KLM Air France, women CEOs, and you have presidents emerging from stronger European economies, becoming heads of states as women.
Yeah.
So there's that connect there. And if she's out there to represent Ghana as well, as assigned by President Mahama to represent the good people of Ghana
in his stead, again, we're going to have a stronger representation. So for me, this is what I see. And what it also shows is that she's metamorphosed from the professor that you've seen before the classroom to become the appealing politician that is. Because to sum, or if you ask me to sum this speech, I'll say this is the state of Ghana that we haven't had from a frank perspective in the last 8 years or so. That's all of what she summed and delivered to the good people of Ghana. And she did this eruditely, without jabs, without insults whatsoever, but she did it imbued, and this is where her professorial acumen comes in. Yeah. She delivered it perfectly, and without innuendos or any other, negative energy, but positive energy and a progressive one for the good people of Ghana. So for me, I think that it's the most viable ticket to have been sold for the election 2024.
Speaking about innuendos, I'm sorry to catch you, but what do you make of the statements on the vice president, driver's statements she made?
Well,
some of the NPP think that was totally unnecessary.
How was it unnecessary? Who labeled himself a driver's mate? Who labeled himself a driver's mate? He didn't label himself a driver's mate. So if she infers from that to give a response to that, how
was it necessary at that point?
Why was it not necessary? Why was it not necessary? Right, because he brought the
So you were wrong in saying there were no innuendos.
No, but how do you describe that as an innuendo? No, how do you describe that as an innuendo? Someone labels himself, right, as an excuse that he doesn't have a certain responsibility. And she comes in to say that you do have a responsibility using your own inferences and labels that you use. How does that become, or how do you attribute that to innuendos? It is not. She gave a perfect description and a response to a label someone, arrogated to himself. But in any case, if it's so good a label, why are you worried? Or why do you label it an innuendo?
He mentioned that. I mean, it's the reason I had to ask.
So that's why I'm asking him. So if he's saying that it's so good a label, right? So why are they concerned that she had to talk about it?
I'm not concerned. I don't even talk.
No, you're concerned now. You're saying that it's an innuendo. So if you label it an innuendo,
she did that devoid of innuendos, and he wants to classify that as one.
So why is he classifying that as one when the label the man has given himself is not one?
Because of the context in which the professor put it.
No, goodness me.
Yes, so
what context was it?
You were there.
No, tell me what context.
You were there.
I was there, yes, so tell me. So let's engage with that.
But KMJ, what the professor said, is it not true?
It's not true. That's a fact.
Is it not true?
You
come in with the president. You were a team.
Yes.
You were a team, and that's what she was saying. That I am a team. Whatever decision is taken, I'm part of that team.
Yes.
The challenge with Dr. Bawumia is that you have a vision that you say you're bringing in, but you're still in government.
No, you see.
Why can't you, that vision you said you had, why can't you bring it in now for people to see that what you're saying works? Why would you sit for the president? The fact that, yes, he has the ultimate power doesn't mean that if you have a good vision, he cannot accept it. Then that means the president doesn't listen. If he has a vice president, and the vice president is telling you, Mr. Man, this is what...
not suggestive that he may have made those suggestions or whatever policies.
So he should tell us when he made those. He should tell us when he made those suggestions and what the president said. So let me give you an example of e-levy. He said he's not going to bring e-levy. He doesn't want e-levy. So tell us, I, as vice president, suggested to the president A, B, C, D, E, where e-levy is concerned. And I really didn't believe it would work. Hence, in my term, I would not bring it back. Did he do that? So what's the reason for him to stop e-levy if he does become president? What's the reason? You empower now. Do it now. Tell us why.
You see, the mistake we make is that... No, the mistake we make is that... Dr. Bawumia...
I'll get to it.
Dr. Bawumia is the most visible vice president Ghana has ever seen.
Thank you.
Right? So as the most visible vice president, it means that he had a lot of responsibility and a key role to play in this government. So why is he running away?
The president told us. EMT.
For me, it is an insult. No, let me come in. For me, it is an insult not just to the president, but to the good people.
Yes. It's an insult
because
to
if
the
you
president.
have been given such responsibility, and mind you, the responsibilities even started in opposition. when the artificial platform to give him an academic cloud, an artificial platform for public lectures was created at the Central University, chaired by
around the EMT
issues, conversations where he pontificated.
What artificial platforms? No. Is it part of the issues that Tony Edu says there's no intellectual within your fold that can respond adequately to you?
Well, we don't create.
But whatever he said. No. But whatever
at the Central University where you gave him a visiting professorial,
KMG.
you know, and anyone who knows
whatever he said has come true. He said, what he said, the teachers are suffering. The what you are suffering.
Overtaxation.
Are we not suffering now?
Overtaxation. Are we
not suffering now?
Factors have led us to where we are.
What
exogenous factors never hit them.
Doomsday is what? Doomsday is what?
Never. You get it? So please, we're going to be talking about this. Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia never extricated himself from the responsibilities and culpabilities of this government.
So why isn't he working? Why isn't he working?
So why is he running away from them?
No.
Why is he running away from these?
Yeah. Look, there's a cabinet to take a decision. I may disagree. I've been an SRC president before. Sometimes you go, you have discussions, and some of your people disagree with you. Okay? Sometimes you have to put your foot down.
You're likening the country to an SRC.
You get it? And so at cabinet, you may bring ideas, various ideas.
So
you
in
get
principle,
it? Then the president decides, look, how can he publicly say that I don't think the poor people should be taxed through e-levy?
But he can publicly say that he initiated digitalization.
Exigencies of the moment. Exigencies of the moment is compelled that we go on that trajectory.
I think this cherry picking
after 2025, he's going to take this one.
This cherry picking should stop, right?
Because
he has the responsibility.
But he is the presidential candidate, and he has to sell his vision.
So this is the moment that he has to
you see, at the time, the president was interested in listening more to Furiata than listening to the vice president.
And when it comes to but when it comes to digitalization, right? That one he was given a free rein to implement. Is that not it? No. What a shame.
Allow me to engage.
This way, we are not going. We'll go this way. President Kufuor did it. Okay, when we were declaring hippie, his finance minister and other top senior minister disagreed with him. And he said, no, the buck stops with me. I'm going to go.
So you can't blame him that much.
You can't.
Very well.
When he takes the wheel and he does something like that, Prof can have, and the lawyer can have the right to do that. He's going to take the wheel soon.
Now, let's get some messages. We'd like to say
what position are you taking in the campaign?
Let's see what...
because you're passionately speaking about the man.
He's my man.
Let's see what our viewers are saying. This was Akosi Garibas from Tamale. And it says, good morning, KMJ, and to my brother Ayisi. Mr. Mahama and Professor Naana is creed and self-actualization, and Ghanaians are smart enough to reject the NDC again. One, SHS subsidy was not paid from 2014 to 2016. Funds for their so-called progressive free SHS was not paid from 2014 to 2016. Thirdly, feeding grant was not paid from 2014 to 2016 after the cancellation of the teacher training allowances and nursing allowances. If Ghanaians are not forgetful, as Mr. Mahama claimed, the NDC will not get 40% of the total votes cast in this year's election. A BMW is possible on 7th December 2024. Let me get to this one. It says, good morning to you. My name is Laurel. Is this not the woman that they have brought in the last election? We are very happy to retire them together. Okay. You seem to be talking about retirement right now. Let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, Mr. Host. I decided to travel for greener pastures, but living here under NPP government is hell. But listen, to Prof, I believe there is a hope for the future. My name is Nana from Ashtown in Kumasi. So Nana came all the way from Kumasi with that. Professor Naana is one of the worst minister of education in Ghana. As a teacher herself, she didn't do anything substantial in the education ministry. All she did was to introduce utility bills in tertiary level, cancellation of teacher trainees allowance, cancellation of nursing trainees allowance, introduction 3 months pay policy, where teachers teach for 3 years and were paid only 3 months. In fact, I'm a victim of this wicked policy. Jane needs to be first prosecuted before she can think of prosecuting anyone. Oh boy. Kwame na acidity for a trend share sentence. This says yesterday, Prof Naana Opoku-Agyemang adoring as NDC running mate clearly indicates NDC led by John Dramani Mahama and party executives are ready to rescue and build Ghana we want from vampires. MPP come 2024. The next NDC government will fight against corruption. MPP government has nothing better to offer this country. They are heading to opposition. My regards to Honorable Alhaji Collins Dauda, MP for Asutifi South. Let me go to this one over here. And it's got the lawyer's name in there. It says, good morning, host. I want to remind Jantua that his hatred and dislike of NPP will never bring NDC to power. Mahama and his running have nothing new to offer. Ahmed Tamale. Ahmed seems not to be excited about you. Anytime he comes. He's always been coming through like that.
Why would I hate anybody? I don't have a stem of hate in my body.
This one says, good morning. Why will she be driver mate when anything can happen? She's preparing as advised. Onampo, Abdulaziz Jimbani, Joy TV, neighbor in Community Sentinel. I said, say hi to my brother from the Upper West region, Dr. Sharif Mohammed Khalid. Okay. So, this is preparation to what is ahead. Good morning, Mr. Host. I decided to okay, I think I've read that. Let me go here and see what we have. It says, Mr. Host, I love your program and I can't skip it each day. Thank you so much. We love you too. It says, but please, I want to know the political party Mr. Jantua represents in your studio. CPP. Just to be fair to me, Amino, he's a senior member. Okay.
I represent the CPP. I don't represent any other party.
So check the name before you choose you.
I'm giving my views, that's all.
Good morning, host. Tell the NPP man to keep quiet if he has nothing important to say to Ghanaians this morning about his incompetent government. Professor's speech was full of wisdom, and he must admit to that. This is a signal to the NPP that this year's election is going to be boot for boot.
Yeah.
Look at the conference. Someone
they play it our way.
Everybody sent in that one. Let me go here. This one says, good morning, KMJ. Please ask the NDC man to give us one policy they are bringing to Ghanaians. We still don't understand what card the NDC is trying to play Ghanaians. It's not same woman who cancelled training allowance. Inshallah, we're bringing the.
Have you been following Mahama's stores?
Oh, a lot has been said with that.
Yeah, a lot has been said with that. So unless, of course,
they're not following.
Good
morning, Mr. Host. Prof Jane spoke well yesterday, but the question, do politicians do remember their words when they come to power? Her speech was just to tell the NDC people she's the woman who can do, but not Ghanaians. Nana Wusu and Go also sent in that one. Okay, so let me get this last one, and then probably we'll go back to the conversation. This one says, teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering, doctors are suffering, police taking collections daily and suffering, engineers are suffering, presenters are suffering. Who told you? Oh, it says, okay, you enjoy. We're all in hardship, please. I'm not enjoying anything. Pastors are suffering, graduates are suffering, students are suffering, business are suffering, passport fees are suffering. This guy, everything is suffering. Ghana card fees will soon suffer. Our lights are suffering.
Tell him to stop plagiarism. They should come with their own thing. Yes.
The question is, are we not suffering now? And it's the weird stuff you be quiet. And it's, you came with suffering this morning. Everything you said this morning is suffering.
Come with your original things.
Good morning, KMJ. I think
after we were not given an original presidential speech in the inaugural address of the first tenure of your office, you're talking about
you are an academic.
Yes.
What's the essence of literature review?
Oh, goodness me. So you're still going there.
What's the essence of that?
Right, so why do
you expect me in writing my research to reference other prior researches and to make my case?
Where are you coming from?
Some references.
He's an academic.
Yes, but what big references?
Yes.
But you don't copy Pushy's speech, hook, line, and sinker, and attribute it to yourself. And that is plagiarism. That's why you're using that.
So
that was a plagiarism.
You know why? It's
word for word.
Academic work. You get it? That was at that point. So sometimes you can.
But you're making reference.
Sometimes you can reference. Sometimes you don't reference.
What are you defending?
Sometimes you reference in a speech. Sometimes you reference. Sometimes you.
So a speech is not academic work.
It is.
No, did you just say a speech is not academic work? Look to the screen and say that.
You are from academia.
Yes, so look to the screen and say that a speech is not.
Other people. What is the crime in that?
What did he quote?
Yes.
Did he quote Bush? Did he quote Bush?
Even Bush quoted somebody else.
But if you quote...
When I did the research into that, even Bush was quoting...
Was it referenced?
No,
if you quote someone, you should reference
the person. Bush didn't reference it.
But in literally, that doesn't make sense anyway. And I'm
You
sure
have to reference.
Yeah, Bush
he may have done that.
No, let's admit that was a mistake.
Exactly. That's what
Let's really reference. That was a mistake. Nana didn't reference
wrong.
something.
No, let's admit that was a mistake.
Whether it's Bush or not Bush, it's wrong.
Let's be let's not be spectators, right? And it's the catchword now, right? People love that.
goodness me. It is, but it doesn't still make
it wasn't presidential enough. It wasn't presidential enough. Anyway, it wasn't presidential.
Let's make some progress. Gentlemen, let's make some progress. So, we've got two topics to actually handle right now. The Kumasi International Airport will be open to traffic in June. Some transport fares are also going up again. Can I get a projection of the fares so that we can let our viewers know what exactly will be happening with that? But you can also make sure you go to Franco Trading Enterprise and get yourself a new phone. If you're thinking of getting an iPhone or Samsung or smart TV, the place you need to go is Franco Trading Enterprise. And we've got tabletop fridges that we're giving as well. We have Franco Air Condition that you can also buy. Give us a call, 0246 422 338 0555 939 and speak to us. Buy from us. We've got 40% discount that we're giving out there, and so you want to be a part of that as well. So that's what it is. Now let's get into the other conversations that we have, and I want us to. I'm still trying to get the details of it so we can use that as a study for the conversation. But let's go to the SML deal. So the president, and various newspapers here have reported that. Now, there are other side of it where people are arguing that the report should be made public, and Manasseh and the team are, moving beyond just having the president's directive come through and then go to that point. Now, let me start off with you. How do we reconcile all that has come with this negotiation, renegotiation, and reports that are needed to be out there for people to get to know, and where the president sits right now?
Oh no, the president, upon getting the fourth estate's investigative reports, decided not to fold his hands, but to wade into the matter proper. Then decided to contract KPMG to do the audit of what fourth estate is put out there. And KPMG did their work, submitted the reports. And upon getting the report, the president decided to issue a statement to the public. And it's part of the contents of the report that was put out by KPMG. And so, yes, that's what the president has done. And so he's given us a bird's eye view of what the reports may contain. But my Ketikrachi brother, Manasseh, feels the report must be, it's not failed, but it's the right and proper
exactly
that in an environment of probity and accountability. And so we need to put the report there out. But until then, this is what the president says. Okay, the KPMG report is saying A, B, C, D. As far as the functions or the works of SML was concerned, they say some due diligence or whatever, the term used were not done. But the KPMG is also saying that it's not mandatory to do that before awarding such contracts. Okay, so once they have the capacity to be able to do what they said they were going to do, they went about it. I've had the opportunity of being, you remember the early days when Kelny GVG was given such similar responsibility in relation to the telcos. Imani came out, Franklin Kuyo specifically, came out to disagree and thought Kelny was a fraud and all that. But when we're taking through the functions and works of Kelny, real-time monitoring and all that, we realized, it was worth it. And they were SIM box frauds and other things, came down drastically. These days, people barely talk about SIM box fraud and other things. I'm not saying it's completely gone, but, because of the monitorings and works of Kelny GVG, it's reduced drastically. And then revenue from the telcos is also improved. Okay, so in a similar vein. I was excited when I heard SML, but when Fourth Estate brought their issues, I said, how can that be? The MPA will be tracking the volumes and code that is moving and all that. SML is tracking for revenue assurance, okay? And so if there are loopholes and other things, they can say, okay, if 1,000 liters is gone out, okay, this is the equivalent tax revenue that should be paid to the state, unless there's some other whatever in revenue administration. And so this is what I thought was good. Petroleum, downstream, upstream, and then the minerals angle. I think the upstream and the minerals angle, the president says should be on hold. Yes, but the downstream...
Asking for renegotiation and all that.
Yes, is to continue, because the president was satisfied that with their work, about 2.45 billion, is it dollars or CDs was raked in within the time period. And then the issue of the 1 billion, the fee that is being paid to be renegotiated and all that, I think it's a good thing. But I also agree that the full report should be made public so that all of us, especially members of the Fourth Estate, some people were excited about the work of the Fourth Estate, others too were not too happy. You get it. People feel Manasseh just decides to go out there, not him alone, with the West African guy, another media giant in Ghana. You know, we're just going after people. Yes, Leman Brahman. Cool, yes. We're just going after people and cool. But I think it's good in a democracy. Some of these things, when they bring it out, I disagreed with Manasseh on the issue of the militia in the heart of the city. You know, he got it absolutely wrong. But it taught us some lessons, okay, to do certain these investigations. He's an investigative journalist. And so once he's done this, let's look at it. Is it good? Is it value for money for SML to continue to do what they're doing? Are they helping improve revenues by GRA? I think it's a yes. You get it. And so let's see how we can use their services properly to the benefit of the country and our revenue mobilization. The last one, I think part of the recommendations is the ICOMs have a capacity for external monitoring of revenues and co. If it's so, why not let them use the ICOMs one? But you see, with the SML, it's not from within the GRE. You get it? So it's like an audit work that they were doing, you get it. But ICOMS is within the GRE, okay, and so it's a normal function of staff doing their work. But there's an oversight responsibility by SML looking at what you have done, cross-checking it and making sure real time the monitoring is going on well, the flow meter, the volume that is going through it is actually what is going through it. You get it? It's not about the officer in charge reporting 1,000 liters, and then SML comes to do the real this thing, and it's about 1,700. What happens? You get it? So if you know somebody,
are we not looking at almost the same, the same responsibility?
No,
I think that's most of these.
No. You get it? You are. I'm a staff doing my job. Okay, I've reported that there's 1,000 something because we saw that before there was under declaration.
Yeah.
And in the same spirit in the telcos, what workshop I attended and the report we had, they were under declaration, okay? And so Kelly had to, their works and co brought some of these out. And GRA, in some of the cases, there's real-time monitoring. Not only GRA, there are other state institutions that are all watching the figures moving, the digitalization process. So that is what I think we should go on with. Okay. I had made the argument when we met some officials from GRA that why can't you train your own people to take up that responsibility? And then they brought but they brought out the audit angle of this private entity. You get it? And then are you getting value for money? Is there the revenue assurance? Is the volumes increasing? They say yes. So let's get. I'm happy the president didn't completely cancel their work. Let them go ahead to do their work so we get value for money.
Very well.
We need more money to build our country.
That's good. I'll come to you. Well, you're an economist.
Look at this. It's one of the most bizarre arrangements I've ever seen as far as in modernity. The point is, we have two key institutions here. One is a regulator of the downstream sector of petroleum in the country, which is the MPA. Then we have a tax revenue or revenue collection agency, which is GRE. So between these two key state institutions, we cannot have proper auditing and assurance or collection of revenue. Then our function becomes a bit worrisome. Why do we need to go and bring SML, which has no track record, right, in the very function that we say our state institutions do not have? What are we doing to ourselves? You put it in the private hands. They have not given us any track record, either within the sub-region, within Ghana. They have no experience in this sector. And if it's about equipment, right, how equipped they are, right, to, as it may, execute this function that we think that they ought to. Now, you look at the cost component of the contract that goes out to them. If this was invested into acquiring or the acquisition of or procurement of the needed sophisticated equipments that we need to have these monitorings with and training purposes, creating employment within public sector, right? Juxtapose that with the cost.
We wouldn't have been paying such a lot of money.
So why would we do that? So these are the fundamental questions we need to ask ourselves. So why spring up a new company which has questionable track record based on the reports that we are seeing? I'm not saying they've done anything untoward, but if the state in and of itself is generating revenue or collecting revenue, and you feel that they don't have the experience to do it, train them to do it. You don't go and bring a private man who also has no experience in it and try to give such projects to them. So what we are simply doing is that the very problem that we say we have, right, which is assurance and auditing, we are putting into the hands of an inexperienced company that has no experience with assurance and auditing. So in this case, what are we doing to ourselves? Right? So is it just a case? So what we try to do is that you try to create or raise critical questions in concerned minds. And when that happens, you are damping the spirit of revenue generating in the country as far as the functionality of GRE is concerned, and as far as the regulatory function of NPA is also concerned. So for me, prima facie, it wasn't a pretty story to start with. Yes, the president can write all of the letters, he may, but you would realize that even when this brouhaha was happening, a lot had happened in GRE, right? Yeah. We had the Commissioner General sneaking out of the country, right? That came in the heat of this matter. You had a letter that was... you had a letter...
Himself and the family were still in the country.
Well, if they say they were, that is fair enough. How about a backdated letter?
He's a reverend, you never sneak.
Well, all these stories emanated. That's what I'm trying to say is that these stories emanated around this deal. And what it does is that it worries for issues of corruption perception, you know,
it was
how strong...
currency to the work of the fourth estate.
Well, whatever you want to call that. Right. But in any case, what happened post that? A letter was backdated from the presidency, right? That gave the appointment or extended the contract to the GRE boss amidst the scandal, right? And if any report comes out of this, I think that the president has slapped himself on the wrist, because the point is, you would have dealt with this decisively. Why backdate a letter? And all of the issues, a board resigned. You quickly appointed a new Commissioner General. And for me, what even worries me is that I don't even know whether the Commissioner General is in acting capacity, because at the time she was even appointed, there was no functional board of GRE. So now we are unable to even tell whether she's in an acting capacity, because no one is referring to her as an acting commissioner, but referring to her as a commissioner. So all of these things happening, if you start to say you are responding to reports of Y, A, B, C, D, it doesn't wash. Okay. Because your real strength should have been in how you handle issues of what? The appointments of the Commissioner General, the resignation of the board. Because mind you, GRE is a key institution, state revenue generation institution, collection body. So if the board is this dysfunctional in this array, right, issues of corporate governance thrown to the bins, right, and you've backdated a letter of a Commissioner General that was meant to have been retired. You juxtapose that to the Auditor General, Domilevo, who a green letter emanated from the Flagstaff House, from the Executive Secretary to the President, asking him to proceed on retirement, which has never happened in this country. Yet, you had to issue a letter, backdate it to validate an extended contract of the man, and then tend to appoint someone who is almost on retirement, within the retirement age bracket. So it's so bizarre when you...
Prof, is the president clothed with the powers to do that?
No, when you are clothed with powers to do things, you don't abuse it. As the president telling us that among every commissioner or the high-ranking workers of GRE, there is no competent person within the stipulated age bracket to handle the role of...
All right, lawyer, let me get...
There are younger people in there. There are some more competent people there.
Let me get your take on that, and then we're done from there.
Do you ever think President Akufo-Addo will annul anything Ken Ofori-Atta did? Do you ever think so? To bring
it's almost impossible.
To bring
Based on what we've
embarrassment
seen.
and shame to Ken Ofori-Atta. They're Siamese twins. He will not do it. Even when you say he did what? He removed him a finance minister. Where did he put
Advisory.
him? Where did he put him? He's given him
still.
even a better job than
It's not
finance
true.
minister.
It's not true.
He
Non-executive.
still has tentacles in the finance ministry, and he is his advisor on finance, isn't he?
It's not
Ken
executive.
Ofori-Atta.
It's not executive.
He's an advisor to the president. He does not need an invitation to go see the president.
You are an advisor to the
I'm
president.
not
He's
an
your
advisor.
friend.
He's my
Is
friend.
he not your friend?
He's my friend. But he doesn't take my advice. He's my friend, but he doesn't take my advice. Anyway, let me ask the question. During the interviews that were held by Manasseh with the SML boss, what did he say? He said they do not do the kind of work that he is trying to allude to. They don't check under-reporting or under-declaration in the downstream. So the next question I ask, and I'm not sure whether you have seen it, Prof has seen it, or George has seen it. Have we seen the contract between the Ministry of Finance and SML?
I saw it. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I saw it.
Let's start from that point. Let's start from that point. And has the president seen that contract? And does he agree to that contract? Let me also say that, and I should have said this before I even started commenting, we need to see the report. That will give two sides of the coin, why the president said what he had to say. And let me remind the president, that contract is not his personal property. Sorry, that report is not his personal property. The report that has been given by KPMG is not his personal property. It's the property of Ghana. Does it have any, security issues, implications in it? He should release that and let us look into it. And that is where we would be able to justify whether the recommendations he's giving is right. If he feels there's nothing to hide, there's no sinister anything behind his recommendations, he should expose it to us so that we can also have a look and read it. Now, the SML were paid how much?
$1 billion.
$1 billion. That is why I say we should look at the contract. Because they are saying they know nothing about checking and declaring in the downstream.
Later they revised that position.
They revised what? They took it off their website when they were confronted. They took it off. So under what circumstance are they being paid that amount of money? Look, if this thing were to have gone on, they were to be paid $100 million every year for 10 years. Come on.
$100 million.
$100 million for every month for 10 years. Does the country have that kind of money? And if you feel there's lack of capacity in GRA, and this is what I expected the president to say, it looks as if there's a lack of capacity in GRA, so we need to be able to get GRA to do these types of things, and they should be able to do it.
Okay.
I see you're stopping me.
Lawyer, our time. I'm so sorry. I'm sure we'll be able to digest this proper in the coming days because we're still.
But I won't be here in the coming days. I won't be here in the coming days.
No,
by next Thursday, everything would have come up.
By then the report will be out, and then you can deal with that issue because the RTI will compel the president. Manasseh and the team are ready to do that. So let's hope.
Are you sure the president will be compelled?
Oh,
He won't be compelled.
He won't be compelled.
We have a law that would.
You're talking like you don't know who you're referring to.
Anyway, now we are talking this morning. We'd like to step in into Franco Trading Enterprise. My costume is by Your Fee. Call him on 055-816-0753, and you can speak to Your Fee for a costume like what I'm wearing. Franco Trading Enterprise made it possible for us to have this segment. Coming up next, see what the Golden Girl is standing by. What was trending? We're done for today. It's 8 o'clock already. Oh no, we can't.
It's not 8 o'clock already. It's not 8 o'clock. It's 7:45. It's
Because we're in a country where we...
coming up, stay with us.
Newsflash was brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fie.